Hello again, Tina Spalding here, Trance Channel, for our daily Course in Miracles lesson number 14 today. God did not create a meaningless world. The idea for today is, of course, the reason why a meaningless world is impossible. What God did not create does not exist, and everything that does exist exists as He created it. The world you see has nothing to do with reality. It is of your own making, and it does not exist. The exercises for today are to be practiced with eyes closed throughout. The mind-searching period should be short, a minute at most. Do not have more than 3 practice periods with today's idea unless you find them comfortable. If you do, it will be because you really understand what they are for. The idea for today is another step in learning to let go of the thoughts that you have written on the world and see the Word of God in their place. The early steps in this exchange, which can truly be called salvation, can be quite difficult and even quite painful. Some of them will lead you directly into fear. You will not be left there. You will go far beyond it, our direction towards perfect safety and perfect peace. With eyes closed, think of all the horrors in the world that cross your mind. Name each one as it occurs to you, and then deny its reality. God did not create it, and so it is not real. Say, for example, God did not create that war, and so it is not real. God did not create that airplane crash, and so it is not real. God did not create that disaster, tidal wave, for example, and so it is not real. Suitable subjects for the application of today's idea include anything you are afraid might happen to you or to anyone about whom you are concerned. In each case, name the disaster quite specifically. Do not use general terms. For example, do not say God did not create illness, but God did not create cancer or heart attacks or whatever may arouse fear in you. This is your personal repertory of horrors at which you are looking. These things are part of the world you see. Some of them are shared illusions and others are part of your personal hell. It does not matter. What God did not create can only be in your own mind apart from His. Therefore, it has no meaning. In recognition of this fact, conclude the practice period by repeating today's idea. God did not create a meaningless world. The idea for today can, of course, be applied to anything that disturbs you during the day aside from the practice periods. Be very specific in applying it. Say, God did not create a meaningless world. He did not create, specify the situation which is disturbing you, and so it is not real. That is lesson number 14. God did not create a meaningless world. And as usual, I'll channel Jesus now and we'll see what He has to say. You are blessed beings indeed. I am that one that you know as Jesus, and we are very, very proud of you for making it this far. You are now 2 weeks into the deconstruction and reconstruction of your consciousness. Now, you must remember as you go through these lessons that we are undoing decade upon decade, even incarnation upon incarnation of distorted ideas and fears and misinformation that has been accepted into your mind and acted upon. And this is something to remember as you get frustrated, which your ego will definitely do at times. It will say, this is the most ridiculous lesson. These things are too slow. Let's go and do an intensive weekend workshop so we can deconstruct this ego in a weekend. Those are the kinds of things that your ego will begin to suggest to you. It will do this because you are now deeply challenging its control over your choices, over your value system, and over what you believe to be reality. Now, we want to warn you about this world reality because in this teaching, what you see as your world, this physical world with you inhabiting a body, is not actually referred to as reality. Reality is your oneness with all that is. Reality is your true nature. Reality is the you without all of the fears and the distortions and beliefs that you hold that keep you from your true nature, which is reality. So be aware of that as you're going through these lessons, and you may become confused and say, well, if this isn't reality, what is? Well, you are going to be led towards reality. You are going to be led towards your loving self. You are going to be led towards a higher frequency where you will have access to different experiences, and you will begin to see that the reality, quote unquote, that you believe you live in today is very, very different than the reality that you will be living in a year or 2 years or 5 years or 10 years. You will be changed to such a degree in a few years that you will look back upon today and you will say, I thought I knew what reality was, but I am completely changed now. So be conscientious, but be patient. Infinite patience brings immediate results. And what that means is, if you trust in this process, this quiet and gentle daily process, and put your faith in it and do it as asked, whether you understand it or like it or whether it disturbs you or not, you are going to get the greatest rewards. If you become impatient and leap about or miss days and procrastinate, then you extend your suffering. That's all you're doing. You are extending the time in which you suffer before you are freed of that distorted mind. So remember that today. If you think about, oh, I'm going to skip that lesson, don't do it. Know that you are investing in the most lucrative and bountiful and abundant thought system that there is, where there is health, happiness, joy, and eventual freedom from this earthly plane. I am that one that you know as Jesus, and we will see you again tomorrow. Thank you for joining me today. See you again tomorrow. Bye.